Hey guys, welcome to ASP.NET Web API tutorial series. This is the third part of this series. Today I am going to show you how to test or debug your Web API using Fiddler. Okay, if you want to use Fiddler as a debugging tool, you have to download the Fiddler from the Telerik site. This is a free tool to debug your web API methods. Okay, so you can Google it or you can directly download from telerik.com/fiddler. It's a free tool. Okay, so in the second part I have shown you that how to write your method in the web API. Today I am going to show you how to test that web API methods from Fiddler. Okay, so first of all, open the Fiddler, then go to the Composer. In the Composer tab, you can see there is a URL text box. You can set the URL. By default, this is a get method. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to find out my URL. So my URL is my localhost URL, which is, you can see that localhost colon 49442. Okay, then API, then product. Okay, so this is my API URL, and we're going to use get method. So if we click execute, it is going to be executed. You can see 502. 502 means what? 502 means response. So header, you can see our API is now closed. We have to run our API. So run the API, then execute it again. Now you'll see that we're waiting for this. 200. You can see 200. Double click on it and you can see we have the response and we have two data, right? Two records, and by default we are getting as JSON format. If you go to the header section, you can see that by default content type is application/JSON. Even we can change it by ourselves. So what we have to do is content type application XML, then execute it again, then you will find that this is now XML format. ID, name, price, quantity, these are XML format. So it is totally up to you. This is called content negotiation. So we have that 404, and we can see in the header that, and yep, so we don't have that data 404. So this is all about the get method. Now the more challenging part is put or post data, which is we want to insert data. We want to test the post method. Now I want to show you how to post data from Fiddler. So we have to test our post method from Fiddler. So what we need to do is, first of all, you have to select the post method, then we are going to post data API and in the product controller. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to add the model in the request body. Okay, so we have our model, which is product model. The first field is ID. Okay, so the first field, let's say ID 1. Second field is name, let's say skirt. Third field is price, let's say 30.99. Okay, fourth field is quantity, let's say 7. So this is our model. We want to pass it to the post method. Now if you execute, then you can see that 5 would 2. That means what? Connection failed because our API is not running now. If you run this application, then what is the difference? Let's see. Now you will get what? Still he is looking for, trying to post, but fail because method not allowed, which is 405. Because we don't have that method, so first of all we have to create that method. Okay, so what we have to do is public ISTTP action result, let's say post, and we will get data as a product. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to call that product service that save my data. We don't have that method, so we have to create it. Save product, we're passing the product. Okay, so since we don't have that method, we have to create it. We can create it by easily, you can see, click over here, then go to the interface, and you can see that this method is created for you, but we want to return as a boolean type. Then go to the product service and implement that unimplemented method, which is here. So what we want to do is we want to save data, right? So you can use try catch block, so db products add that product. Okay, then db dot save changes. So if it is successfully saved, then you can return what? True. Otherwise return false. Okay, so this is the way we can insert the data. Now what we have to do is we can test it. For example, bar, you can say is saved equal this one, if is saved equal true, we can return what? Okay. Okay, otherwise if it is not successfully saved, we can say using else or directly that this is a bad request. Okay, so if it is successfully saved, we will return 200. If it is not saved, we can return 400, which is bad request. Okay, now build the project, then run the project. And what? We're going to use Fiddler. So come here again, we're going to pass data as JSON format and we are posting the data. Okay, let's try execute. Oops, there's a breakpoint. Continue. So what is the output? 400. Bad request. Why? So we have to test it why this is a bad request. Okay, so what we can do is we can put a breakpoint over here then run the method. So you can see we have that product. That's okay. And put another breakpoint over here. Oops. Then press F10. Okay, we have that product. Save changes. No. Why? You can see an error occurred while updating the entries. What is the error? Go to the inner exceptions. It says that violation of primary key constraint. So why it is violated? Because of ID. In our database, we already have that ID 1, and ID is the primary key in this table. You can see ID is the primary key. So what we have to do is we have to change the ID value. For example, 3 is not there. Then let's see, execute. We have that product. Okay, and continue, and we want to see that 200. That means successfully saved. You can see okay means 200. All right, even we can test it in the database. Go to the database and execute. You can see that, yeah, 3 star 31, the 7. Okay, so this is our post method. If you see that we are posting 30.99, but we are getting as 31 because of our bad design of table. But we made a mistake, decimal, but 18, there is no decimal point. That's why this is 31. So we have to change that 18, okay, but at least 2 is a decimal point. Okay, alright, so 2 is our decimal point. Then let's try it again. We have that 3. Now we want to make it 4, and let's say woman skirt. Okay, 30.99. Execute. You can run it directly, and your method is successfully executed. Then we can go to the database. Yes, you can see 30.99. okay, so this is our the post method testing. Now can call the get method, so we do not need this request body. And let's see, we have 3 records. Yes, no, 4 records. So ID 1 2 3 4 all are JSON data. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Similarly, you can write put method, that means put for update, as similar to the the post method. Okay, similarly you can create another method which is called put. So okay, let's try that one. Public http put product. Okay, same. What we need to do is updated product service, update product. The product is this one, and we can pass product dot id. It's another parameter, even it's up to you. So we can pass the product or with the product id. Even we can pass the product id first, then product, or only simply product. Okay, so if is updated is true, then return okay, otherwise return bad request. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to create that method in the interface as a bool, then implement that method in the service. So what we have to do is try catch block. In the try catch block, we can try to update that product. So db dot products entity as product dot state equal, yep, it was there, entity state dot what, modified. Okay, then db dot save changes, then finally return true. That's it. So this is for update operation. Okay, so build the project, then run the application. So what we can do is we can put here, then we have to add that model id, for example 3, name, I want to change the name to other thing, let's say skirt, mini skirt. Okay, then I want to change the price, which is I want to reduce the price, let's say 25.50, and now quantity is 2. Okay, then what else? I hope that's it. Execute. Yes, 200. So what we can do is we can get the method, and let's see. So we have updated that 3 record. You can see 3 is now mini skirt and price is now 25.5. Even if we go to the database, you can see this was the previous record. Now if we execute, you can see that mini skirt, and everything is updated. So this is called update operation. And similarly, we can create one more method for delete operation. These are basic 4 operations: select, insert, update and delete, which is called CRUD operation. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to create our delete method in the API. So what we have to do is http delete, then that product. Okay, so in this case basically we can even only pass the product ID. Okay, so we'll pass the product ID and it will delete that product. So same is deleted product service delete product that ID. If is deleted is true, then return okay, otherwise return bad request if the ID is not is there. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to create that method, then bool, similarly you have to implement that method in the service class. So what we have to do is same, and what we can do is we can add, first of all we can get the data using, you can see product equal db dot products where x dot product id equal that id. Then we can check it here, if your product is null then we can return false, otherwise we can go ahead that db dot entry that product state equal system, what is the state was system dot data dot entry dot entry state deleted. Okay, then db dot save changes, if it is successfully deleted then return true, otherwise if there is an exception then you can catch that exception and return false. Okay, so if we have the if we get the return false, then we can say this is the bad request. Run, execute, before executing compile it, then run. Then what we can do is can delete. For the delete we can only pass that ID, for example 3, so we don't need this body, so we are passing only the ID. Executed 400. Why? Bad request. So we have to test it. Put a breakpoint over there, then execute it again. So we got that ID. Okay, we need another breakpoint over here. Press F10. We're getting that ID. Okay, do we have that product? First of all, you have to find out. Yes. Oh, the problem is here. We have to use first or default. Okay, it was my mistake. We have to fetch that data. If we don't use the first or default, it will not fetch that data. So now I hope everything is okay. Only we need to run the application again. We do not need the breakpoint. Just run it. So execute it again and let's see. Yes, 200. That means okay. So we can test it by calling the get method that id3 is there or not. 404, this is not there. Even we can call all products. You can see we have all the 1, 2 and 4, but 3 is not there. All other records are there, 3 is not there. Even we can test it in the SQL server. Execute, 3 is now deleted. Okay, so you have enjoyed the CRUD operations using Fiddler. So Fiddler is a tool you can test your web API methods. So today we have learned how to call the web API methods from Fiddler. So you can test your methods before using that methods in your client application. Okay, so this is one of the important part of development web API. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe this channel, and I would like to have your feedback. Please write your feedback in the comment box, and if you want you can share this tutorial. So thank you, see you soon in the next series of tutorials. Till then, bye.